Hello, my friends. For today's beer review, we're going to be taking a look at Oskar Blues Brewery 1050 Imperial Stout. Oskar Blues 1050. I have heard so many legendary things about this beer. I've never had anything from Oskar Blues Brewery before, but people praise them like they praise North Coast, Three Floyds, Founders, Dogfish Head, those really big time breweries. People praise Oskar Blues the same way. So I'm kind of excited to try this. Even more excited because it's an Imperial Stout that has just some ridiculous praise, high ratings, and the commercial description sounds so ridiculously good that I just can't wait, and I really hope it lives up to the description. But first, take a look at the can here. This is a beer that clocks in at a whopping 10.5% ABV. Boom! That's a huge beer. Definitely probably wouldn't want to drink more than 2 of these, and you're definitely going to be feeling it probably after 1. The can says 1050 Imperial Stout, this dog will hunt. And that's about it. And it has a few other clever things, like it says recycle, pack it in, pack it out. Half-baked, fully roasted ale, and on the front it says cross-eyed cyclopean concupiscent. Concupiscent, I don't even know what that means, whatever. So the commercial description's not on here, but it sounds so good that I actually want to read it to you guys off of Beer Advocate's website. It says, 1050 Imperial Stout, now available in cans. Our winter seasonal beer is immensely viscous, so that sounds awesome, and loaded with neck-deep flavors of chocolate, malt, coffee, cocoa, and oats. It's the beer equivalent of decadently rich milkshake made with malted milk balls and heaven's best chocolate ice cream. 1050 is about 10% ABV and is made with enormous amounts of 2-row malts, chocolate malts, roasted barley, flaked oats, and hops. Its huge but comforting flavors hide a whopping 98 IBUs. That's a lot of IBUs that are deftly tucked underneath this beer's mountains of malty goodness. 1050 is the ultimate Rocky Mountain winter warmer and further proof of the creative muscle of our beloved brewing staff. Look for 4 packs of 1050 in select stores in Colorado, out of state, yeah, whatever. I'm not in Colorado, but I was able to get it. But anyway, that description, calling it a rich milkshake made with malted milk balls and heaven's best chocolate ice cream, that sounds like my dream come true because, as you know, I'm a stout drinker. That's my favorite type of beer. Imperial Stouts, if I see that, I don't even care. I don't even take the time to read it. If I'm in a store and I see something labeled Imperial Stout that I've never had before, it's going in the cart because that's my favorite beer to try and experiment with. So, without further ado, we're going to give it a pour, a smell, and a taste and see if it can possibly live up to that ridiculous description and these really high ratings and praising. I'm going to be drinking this out of the Duvel glass today. I like to use this for really big beers and when I'm trying new stouts because it displays the aromas really well and it just looks good in this glass because this glass is just awesome. Alright. From what I've read, people say this is like drinking burnt motor oil as far as the consistency goes. I hope so. I like thick, heavy beers like that. And that's kind of what I'm in the mood for right now. So, can is open. Wow. I'm looking at it in the can and it looks like chocolate milk. Here we go. This pours pitch black. Okay, maybe just very dark. Are you seeing this? Let's see if we can get ahead on this. Wow. I want to get all of it out. Look at that. I'm looking at it here on my camera, and it's not really doing the head justice. It is a very dark, burnt caramel colored head. Up into the light, it's pitch black. There is no light coming through it, not even little hints of brown or ruby on the edges. It is pitch black, 100%. Pour to about a finger of extremely creamy, like I said, dark brown burnt caramel head. Not sure if the head's going to stick around for long since this beer is so high on the ABV and so thick and heavy, but let's give it a smell and see if it's got some of those crazy taste notes like it says it does. Whew, God, the chocolate. And you know what? It's got so much milky vanilla with that oh my god, there's so much going on. It does smell like chocolate ice cream. I can taste kind of vanilla-y, bready, malted milk balls. Lots of breadiness to this beer, a whole lot of it. Maybe a little bit of caramel. I would say the breadiness is even crackery, almost. It's so bready. So much roasted chocolate malt, vanilla, coffee, caramel, milky, chocolatey, caramelly, malted milk ball ice cream. Delicious goodness, man. This smells awesome. You know, this very well has the ability to place, from what I'm reading and how this smells, this has the ability to place in my top 5 favorite stouts. And in fact, I'm going to let this warm up for just a hair and tell you guys what my top 5 stouts are, really. My favorite stout of all time so far has been Left Hand Brewery's Wake Up Dead Nitro. It blew my socks off. Coming in a very close second was Hopping Frog Brewery's Oatmeal Imperial Stout. I mean, those two are really kind of tied up for first place, but I think that the Wake Up Dead, just because it's a nitro, just takes it one step further. Coming in at third place would be Founder's Breakfast Stout. Phenomenal beer. In fourth place, probably going to be Old Rasputin Russian Imperial Stout. And then in fifth place is going to be Left Hand Brewery's Milk Stout Nitro, just because it's so creamy and unique. Those are my top 5. Judging by how this smells, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, just as far as aroma goes, I think this might be the best smelling stout that I've ever smelled. Better than the Wake Up Dead, better than the Hoppin' Frog Oatmeal Imperial Stout. In smell, let's see if the taste can rise to the challenge. Cheers, everybody. Wow. There's a lot going on with this beer. That is so, so good. Up front, you have sweet chocolate. There's coffee, vanilla, tobacco, caramel, smokiness a little bit. It's so decadent and good. Okay, this beer is developing so rapidly the more I sip on it. I'm kind of at a loss for words right now because there's so much going on with this beer. As far as the mouthfeel goes, I would say this could pass for like an on-tap or a nitro beer. It is thick and heavy and creamy. No doubt about it, completely full-bodied beer. You have a little bit of sweet carbonation bite up front. And that lends way into like very sweet, ice creamy like chocolate notes with coffee and vanilla. There's a little bit of like kind of tobacco-y smoke in with it. It's sticky, it's sweet, it's heavy. Definitely a sipping beer. Definitely would be good on a winter day too, that's for sure. Now, one thing I'm noticing, and I think this is because it's so cold still, is that immediately up front, and it only lasts for a second, and then well into the development at the end, there is kind of a slightly metallic note in this beer. And I think it's just because I'm drinking it so cold. I'm hoping it's not because it's coming out of a can, That's not to say this is not a phenomenal beer, but let me tell you, this metallic taste is going to make the difference of if this makes it high up on my top 5 list or not. It's a good stout, and it's going to get a very high grade, but this is going to kind of make or break if it's up there with just the legendary status beers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this warm up for just a little bit. I'm going to come back, and then we'll finally determine where it stands. Anyway, I'll be back shortly. Alright, I've been letting this warm up for about 10-15 minutes or so now, and this is going to determine it. We're going to see if letting it warm up takes care of that metallic problem. Sometimes that will do it. You'll have a stout that has a little bit metallic weighing, let it warm up. Stouts aren't usually meant to be drank ice cold. They're more or less meant to be drank either at room temperature, cellar temperature, or with just a slight chill. They're not usually meant to be drank ice cold. This one, I would say, is probably cellar temperature. Probably 55 degrees or so is what this is at. Let's see if it cleared up the metallic taste. Yes, it did. That's fantastic. And check this out. The head, while it does dissipate down, you can just give it a little agitation here in the glass, and it just creams back up. It is such a creamy head, and it's so dark brown. Let me go into first person view so you can see this. Look at that. It's like a macchiato coffee in there. Go over the flavor development one more time. Sweet chocolate, milky, ice creamy kind of chocolate up front. That is in part to it having kind of milk stout chocolate qualities, and the mouthfeel makes it just seem like it's a float or a milkshake or ice cream. It's got the malted milk balls because it has a sweet breadiness to it. Caramel, malts. It's great. It's a perfect beer. This goes without saying. And so chocolatey. I mean, this is like a dark German chocolate milkshake with malted milk balls in it. Fantastic. It's a 10-star stout. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, I'll give it an 11 out of 10 if I did that on this show, but I don't. It's a 10 out of 10 stout. 100% perfect. The question is, where is it going to rank with me? It does make it in the top 5, and that is for sure. I honestly want to say that between Left Hand Wake Up Dead and the Hopping Frog Oatmeal Imperial Stout, this belongs somewhere between those two. Those three are just in such a tie for first place because they're all so fantastic that I just don't want to award one of them first place. Because if someone were to sit me down at a bar and say, okay, here's your choice: Left Hand Wake Up Dead Nitro, Hoppin' Frog Oatmeal Imperial Stout, or Oskar Blues 10 Fidy Imperial Stout, what'll you choose? I would just be like, and I wouldn't know what to choose because they're all so good. So take it from that, the fact that I just can't come up with a rating because it's so good, that Oskar Blues 10 Fidy Imperial Stout is damned amazing. If you are a stout fan, this needs to be on your bucket list before you die. You need to try this beer. It is fantastic. Let it warm up a little bit first. Don't drink it ice cold like I did, because I was at first like, that's kind of metallic. That's weird. It completely clears up if you let it just get it to cellar temperature. It's a lot more warming going down. And by the way, that 10.5% alcohol is really well hidden in this beer. It is not super boozy. It is boozy, but not ridiculously so. Anyway, that's been Oskar Blues Brewery's 10 Fidy Imperial Stout. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'm going to finish enjoying this delectable treat of a beer.